Hey, it's me, Nalthazar, and welcome to another video. In this one, I'm going to be going over Rowan and Will Kenrith and going over whether or not they are worth it for you to get, along with the special exclusive bundle that is currently available in the vault for their deck starter. Now, Rowan and Will Kenrith are actually the very first planeswalkers of a new type of planeswalker. So there's actually a hidden mechanic with them that's really, really cool. So I'm excited to go over that. Before I do that, I really quickly wanted to give you guys a really, really neat bit of news about my channel. So starting today and with this Planeswalker bundle, I actually have a partnership with Octagon, wherein they are actually providing me with these exclusives and I get to make videos on them. Now, I spoke with some people at the studio today on the phone, and they're actually really, really cool people. So for those of you who go on the forums and you post there and all of that, if you're wondering who's on the other side of the wall, there are people there, they read your comments, and they're actually really genuinely nice people. So yeah, just thought you ought to know that. Anyways, so the other really cool thing about this is that they like the videos, and they actually just wanted me to make an honest take video on this. So it's not like they're giving me it and I have to say, oh, this thing is amazing and you need to buy it right now. No, I actually get to give you my honest opinion on all this stuff. So there are a few other really cool things that I'll get to be able to do, and I'm really excited to share those with you as they come. But let's go ahead and get into the review of Will and Rowan Kenrith. So the first thing, I teased a little bit that they're the first of a brand new type of planeswalker to the game. And it's not that they're flip planeswalkers, because we've seen those before. And it's not that they're dual color planeswalkers, because we've seen those before. But they actually are the very first planeswalkers that you can use both sides' abilities in the same turn. They were actually designed with the intention of you being able to use one of the abilities on one side, have it flip, and then use the corresponding ability on the other side too, which actually explains a little bit about some of the cards that are in their bundle. So if you take a look at the deck starter bundle, there's a card in it called Rowan's Battle Guard, and it has, whenever you activate a loyalty ability, this creature gets +3/+0 until end of turn. Sorry, that was a cough. Now, you can activate your loyalty abilities twice per turn. So you could foreseeably be giving this creature +6/+0 a turn just by activating your loyalty abilities, which is pretty cool because you can get 10-4 worth of power for a 9-mana critter, which is pretty decent, right? So the first thing that I noticed when I looked at these guys is that they have different mana bonuses based on which side they are. So you actually can't necessarily run dedicated mana for just red or just blue, because Will has +6 to blue, whereas Rowan has +6 to red. Now they do both have +2 to white, but you're probably going to be targeting the main colored match. Now the other thing that's really cool about them is that all of their abilities kind of sort of sync up. They pair together. So if you take a look at Rowan, right? So you actually start off the match as Rowan. So when you start up a match, you start as Rowan, you use an ability, you swap back to Will, you use one of Will's abilities, and it tags back to Rowan. So Infuriate, that first ability, is going to give a creature Berserker, and it gets it permanently. And then if you control that creature, it gets +4/+0 until end of turn. And you'll see here, tag with Will. Now at that point, you flip the Planeswalker, and you'll take a look at Deep Freeze. The other side is target opposing creature gets -4/-0 for 3 turns. So that's your turn, your opponent's turn, and then back to your turn again. And then that creature loses all of its evergreen abilities for 3 turns, tag with Rowan. So that means swap it back again. Now this is pretty nice because if you use Infuriate in conjunction with Deep Freeze, you're going to be powering up your own creature, weakening the opponent's creature, and giving your own creature Berserker. So you can actually use it as removal, which is pretty neat. And then last hit, you create a greater last hit token, draw 2 cards. And so this one is when you exile a non-support card from your hand, if it has 8 or more mana, deal 4 damage to each opposing creature with Berserker, or that has power 3 or less. Now this ability I really haven't gotten as much use out of. It doesn't have as much utility as the first and last abilities, but I have used it just for card draw. Then the flip side, game plan, create a greater game plan token. The first 2 non-support cards in your hand gain flash. And that flash is important because at the beginning of your opponent's turn, you draw 2 cards, then each card with flash in your hand gains 4 mana. Then destroy this support. Now, this is actually a really cool ability in conjunction with Resourceful because you draw the cards during your opponent's turn. So that actually triggers Resourceful on your opponent's turn, which is kind of cool. I like that. Now, you might be noticing so far that Will and Rowan are definitely spell-based planeswalkers. They are not support-based planeswalkers. And we're really going to get that idea here with the third abilities. So you'll see Shatterstorm costs 15 loyalty, is going to say destroy and trigger each of your blue and red activated gems. Now this is particularly cool because strategic planning, the flip side, is going to activate all blue and red gems on the board. Literally all of them. Then the first non-support card in your hand without mana gains half of its mana. Now, it's not the first card, it's the first without mana. So if you use strategic planning and then Shatterstorm, you give half mana to all the cards in your hand that don't have mana. Also, Shatterstorm kind of works like Rupture Spire in that it just pops like the whole board, especially if you're using gem conversion. So those 2 abilities work together really well. They're very well designed, they're very cool. Now you'll see that the third abilities each cost 15 loyalty, and that's just to ensure that you can use both of them in the same turn in the event that you were to save up that loyalty. So all of this is about like swapping back and forth between Will and Rowan. Pretty cool. Now, those are the planeswalkers. Let's actually get into the bundle and then some gameplay. So for the bundle, badoop, we're going to go to the vault, and badoop, we're going to go over here, and we're going to take a look. So the bundle contains 3 cards. The first card is Rowan's Stalwarts. This is a rare, it's 13 mana for a 7/5, and when this creature enters the battlefield, fetch the first Vanguard with the Rowan subtype from your library. There are currently, I think, 3 Rowan Vanguards in the game. And then whenever this creature deals combat damage to an opposing planeswalker, an opposing Vanguard loses 3 shields. Now, after having played with the bundle, and even just with starting out with it, I have to say that of the 3 cards, Rowan Stalwarts is a really cool card. Rowan's Battle Guard, which I've already gone over, is also a really cool card. But I kind of wish that the third card was actually one of the rare Rowan Vanguard, or just like some kind of Rowan Vanguard for this bundle, so that you could use it in conjunction with the Stalwarts. Because as it is, you have to independently pull Rowan's Vanguard in order to be able to use the 2 of them together. Now, in the event that you do get one of the Rowan Vanguards, these 2 work very well together, and I actually really like these Stalwarts in conjunction with the Rowan Vanguard. The third card in the bundle, Thrill of Possibility, is a 6 mana spell and has discard a card, then draw 2 cards, and then Adamant Red, so if you've matched red this turn, those cards gain 3 mana. This one is more okay compared to the other 2, which are definitely stronger cards, but that rounds out the bundle. Now, for my very first deck that I'm going to show off, and unfortunately while testing around, I tabbed out of the app to check on something in a new start Discord, and then the game crashed. So I haven't actually lost a match with them yet, but that's where that loss comes from. Anyways, so here is the deck. Now I'm actually going to be showing off a total of 3 decks. I'm going to be showing off the bundle, I'm going to be showing off a standard deck, and then I'm going to be showing off a legacy deck. So for my bundle deck, I decided to try and make it based on the red half of the Planeswalkers. In a lot of my testing, I found that I really like strongly going after either red or blue. So I've got the 3 bundled pieces. And then I actually have the Royal Scions. Octagon was kind enough to give me this to use in conjunction with the other rare guy. Where is he? Stalwarts, right? So Stalwarts is going to fetch a Rowan, and the Royal Scions actually are Rowan. Take a look over there. Support card, Vanguard, Will Rowan. This Vanguard here is actually pretty good. I actually really like the Vanguards for this set. So the passive ability is Resourceful 4. So when you draw a card, if that's not the first card you drew this turn, trigger this effect. It can trigger up to 4 times. So deal 1 damage to your opponent's Planeswalker, then drain 1 mana from your opponent's hand. Now, if you take a look at the 0 ability, you draw a card and draw 2, which means that if it's your turn, which it will be, you're guaranteed to trigger that Resourceful twice a turn just by using that 0, which is pretty nice. The -3 is a very strong ability for finishing your opponent off. And so this one gives a creature you control +3/+0 and double strike. So I really like the Vanguard. This is a very fun card if you get your hands on it. Now, I'm also putting in Will Kenrith just because Kenrith actually pairs really well with this Planeswalker. So the +1 is draw 2 cards, those gain 2 mana. And so you'll see that with the combination of Will and the Royal Scions, you're going to be getting your Resourceful every single turn to deal 4 damage to your opponent and drain 4 mana, which is pretty cool. And then with the -2 ability, you make it so that a creature's power and toughness become 0/3 until the beginning of your next turn. And then that creature loses all of its evergreen abilities. So if really it doesn't matter what your first creature is, right? So if you just use this first ability, Infuriate, give a creature +4/+0 and Berserker, you just get to automatically kill one of your opponent's creatures for this -2. And then the -6 is going to be to copy each non-copy spell in your hand, and those cards gain half their mana. Realistically, you're probably just going to be using the first and the second ability, not the third ability here, but it's nice to have as an added bonus. Now, apart from those, you'll see that I threw in Sir Sarah the Bold. I absolutely love this card, and I love it with double strike. So this card here, in conjunction with the Scions, giving it double strike, means that we're going to be fetching 2 cards a turn every time we use that, and giving each of them half mana. I tend to think that this Planeswalker duo is kind of like a glass half full, glass half empty type of thing. So just all their abilities and stuff tend to lean toward this whole half mana thing. And then Sir Sarah also has this activate to do 2 damage to any target. And with the Shatterstorm ability, you're going to be activating all of those gems, right? So Shatterstorm here at the bottom. To round out the deck, I've got gem converters in red for Castle Embereth and Dwarven Mine. And then I've got Thrash for some removal and extra burn damage. And finally, a card that the more I use, the more I like, and that's Sundering Stroke. So this is going to deal 3 damage to your opponent's Planeswalker and to each creature they control. I really like this card because unlike Hour of Devastation, which requires your opponent to have a creature out, you can just cast this and do damage to your opponent's Planeswalker. So your opponent doesn't need creatures out, you can just use it to burn them. And with the Adamant Red, you're going to do 7 damage. So it sort of serves as board wipe and direct damage, and you can just use it for direct damage if you want instead. So a lot of versatility here on that card. So this is the first deck that I'm going to be showing off, just so you can get an idea for how the cards in the bundle play out, along with how the Planeswalker itself works. And let's get into it. All right, so let's get into the match. Now you'll see that I'm actually against a Domri instead of a Brokon here. That's just because in the middle of recording, my 3-year-old woke up, and so priorities. But anyways, back to this. So this is nice. I've got a gem converter to start with, and with Rowan and Will, since I'm running red gem conversion, I predominantly want to keep it on Rowan's side. So the mana changes, and so that means that I want to get as much out of my mana, my gem conversion, as I possibly can. So here you're going to see I'm getting Castle Embereth down early. I'm actually going to be targeting this green match up top in case I can take the red, which I do, which is fantastic. And then here we're going to draw 2. We're going to get more gem conversion. There you're seeing the Sundering Stroke going off even without a creature target. We're going to bring up the Mine and the Battle Guard, and things are looking pretty darn good for this match right now, actually. So we want to get all of our gem converters down, and then because we're exhausting all of our hand, you will see next turn that I will be using Last Hit just to get a little bit more, just to get a few more cards in hand. So Gaia comes down. Ah, that's terrifying. All right, Gaia, you are a savage monster. And of course, the cat comes to say hello. All right, the foul beast is vanquished. Let's see. We still are at red, so we do need to give Berserker to our little guy, but ooh, yeah, this is gonna seem like a weird turn, but I'm actually not gonna draw the cards yet. So this little Battle Guard has First Strike, which means that all I need to do is activate that right there. So that means that it's going to have 9 power, and it's going to have First Strike, and it's going to have Berserker. So this is going to kill Gaia. This lets me get rid of a completely major threat really early on, which is good. That thing had to go. So, all right, now that we've dealt with Gaia, we're going to get the Stalwarts, which is pretty nice, and we can actually use our flip ability here. So we can either use Game Plan, which is going to flip us there. All right, so Game Plan, in the event that you didn't know, is going to draw me cards on my opponent's turn. So now I'm going to get to draw a little bit on his turn. I've got red, so that's pretty nice because red is where I'm converting gems. That's going to be worth more mana to me. You'll see that the Game Plan is giving mana right there to the Knight. So the Stalwarts just got mana due to that. And now we want the Royal Scions to come down and then Will Kenrith. I want the Scions down first because they will give me double strike. And I want the double strike just in case another Gaia comes down. Just now that I know that my opponent's running Gaia, I have to be a little bit more careful for really big time threats like that. Now that's really unfortunate that that blue gem went there. So what's Domri going to do here? He's also taking away my red trigger matches there, which is a bummer. So I'm going to have to lose my 4/4 first strike here. But, I mean, you know, worse possible things could be happening than losing a 4/4 with first strike, right? So, yeah, I think that this white match is the way to go. We do lose it, but it's okay. It's just fine. So now we'll probably need to see what they do. Wow, that's actually a substantial buff. It's a 4/4 buff from that activation. I really should know that, right? 4/4, 3/3, 4/4. Okay, yeah, definitely. So now we're gonna get Will down, which is great. We definitely want Will down, and with Will down, this gives us a lot of utility. And so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to use this 0 to draw 2 and drain 2 from Domri's hand and see what else we get. Which means we've got Sir Sarah. That's amazing. We absolutely want Sarah. We're going to toss that. Now that we've got all of our card draw stuff, we really don't need it. And so let's see, what do we have for mana here? We've got a white match at the bottom, so let's go ahead and take that one. That's definitely a good match for us. It was a very, very nice match to us, actually. Unfortunately, Domri has a ton of great matches available for him too. And I'm going to guess that the card that Domri is charging now is Gaia. So I'm guessing that because you saw how little mana it gained. I'm pretty sure that's a Gaia. So let's just systematically drain mana from Gaia. So I do want, let's see, I can toss this. I will want the Mine, and then I actually do want Kenrith's. I think I want his first ability here, right? Because, let's see, I could give the Knight's Berserker and just kill that bugger outright, which would be kind of nice. Or I can lower Gaia. Let's kill it. right? It just becomes a 0/3, loses all of its abilities. We can give our knight Berserker here. And then, all right, yeah, let's do it that way. That's going to give us a bunch of mana too, which is pretty nice. It's going to remove Domri's board position, and I really like that too. So I like how you can use the abilities back and forth as removal. So you don't even need to have like the most powerful cards in that. You'll see that. I know that I'm running a pretty heavy rare deck with commons and uncommons, but even with this, I'm able to deal with threats like Gaia, which is pretty nice. So now it's blue. So step 1, draw cards. So let's increase the cost of Gaia a little bit more. And then step 2 is going to be to get rid of, I'll get rid of that mine. And then I'll actually get rid of those stalwarts too, just to draw 2 more. I'm just trying to make it harder for Domri to get Gaia down, right? Like that's the end all be all goal right now with that. And then I don't want to use that second ability. So we're good with that. So let's go ahead and break that guild gate. That's probably my best bet here, right? So getting rid of my opponent's gem conversion. Yeah, I like that play. That's a nice play. And we get 3 of Snow White's dwarves. So I'm pretty good with that too. So let's see where the match takes us here. So now we look at it. We drew Embereth. That's actually really nice, even though we have one down. We finally get a Sir Sarah down in a turn or two, which is going to be pretty sweet. Sir Sarah puts in a lot of work. We can't use Deep Freeze. We have to wait until next turn, unfortunately. So I know that I've got a Sarah there, but I'm going to go ahead and toss those both for this to keep buffing up a little bit. And then I'm going to drop Sarah here, and then I'm going to draw here to drain 2 more from Gaia. And then if you're wondering like, wow, this is like a really tedious way to do this, Nalthazar. Yes, it is. But it is a very so far effective way of not having to encounter Gaia's revenge. So the more ways that I can prevent that thing from coming down onto the battlefield, the better, right? If I can prevent that thing from coming down, then I can pretty safely win this match pretty easily too. So I don't actually have any red matches here still, which is a bummer. I definitely want red, but there is that green match, and I don't want my opponent to get it. So let's drop these. Let's draw our 2, and then let's drop 1, and then let's go ahead and draw 2 more. And then we're going to get Sarah here. So we're going to swap out the dwarves. They're not as good as Sir Sarah. And then we're pretty close to kill range here against Domri too. So, oof, which is good because Domri is going to be getting Gaia down. So let's see, which is our most powerful critter? The 7. Let's see if we can get the kill here. It'll be pretty darn close. So this guy's going to be hitting for 20. Which is good. And then let's see, what can we do apart from that? We can, do we have that little girl down? We do. All right, let's see, do we have any good matches? We have a red match. So yeah, let's go ahead and use game plan, which is going to buff our little knight here and give us red as our primary color match again, which means that we can use Thrash, and that should actually be it. Now I know I could have drawn cards, and that would have worked too, but I'm pretty confident that my 11-5 is going to put in some work here and end the match. Perfect. So there I was able to stall out Gaia. I was able to go up against some pretty big threats, and you got to see a bunch of the utility of the Planeswalker and the cards in the bundle. So I like the gameplay. It's fun. It's dynamic. It's definitely not like S tier top power with that bundle, but if you don't own all the cards like me, it's definitely fun, right? Definitely fun. All right, so let's take a look at what is my other idea for a standard deck, right? So what would I do if I could just use anything? So for my standard deck, I thought that I would actually try this out with Resourceful. So I'd actually make a Resourceful and Adamant deck. So just go all in the set and try them all out. So we've already seen the Royal Scions, and I've already explained how the discard draw is going to work toward Resourceful, and it has Resourceful itself. I'm throwing in Improbable Alliance to create fairy tokens, and then just to have a little bit of discard and card draw just in case I need a little bit more to trigger the Resourceful, and Will and Kenrith can go ahead and Shatterstorm those gems and make it so we definitely draw them. I've got Fairy Vandal, who's going to ideally be buffing 3/3 every turn, and it has Flash, so it's got Resourceful and Flash, so it'll actually get buffed from 2 of the abilities. We've got the Mad Ratter to add a little bit of extra damage with the Rat Plague tokens. I tried to click on the Plague tokens, but I always seem to miss them the first time. But yeah, so we're going to make those little Rat Plague tokens. We're going to be converting to red with Embrith and the Mine, just because we start out with red, and so I just want to establish a strong board position. I've got Will Kenrith for just drawing more cards every turn, so just making sure that we get that Resourceful going. On the Adamant side, we've got Thrill of Possibility, so just once again, more card draw, ensuring that Resourceful happens. We've got Sundering Stroke for removal, and Angrath's Rampage for even more removal. So let's see how this goes. I'm actually really excited to try all of these Resourceful cards together, especially with Will and Rowan's second ability that enables us to get Resourceful on our opponent's turn. So I'm interested in seeing if that works how I want it to work, because I definitely want that to work. So we're up against Vivian, and we are going to want to get rid of the green match. We don't want her getting green. That's her primary color, so that's the no. Now here, unfortunately, I don't have a way of getting a red match yet, so no problem. Wow, holy moly, Greg. Goodness gracious. Okay, thank you. I want to start out by thanking my agent and my family for those gem matches. That was awesome. And then I want to draw more cards with last hit so that I can try and get even closer to my Resourceful things. The game is like, yeah, Nalthazar? No, you want this too bad. And I'm like, yeah, I guess I do. I see what you mean. So let's see. I really don't need the mana from this, so let's try and protect that mine for a little bit longer. I was tempted to make the white part of that match too and just get the double match, but I has to save them. All right, there we go. There's our first card with Resourceful, and then let's actually go ahead and draw 2 more. And great, there's the second one, and probably one of the stronger ones. Improbable Alliance is awesome and is not letting me tap it. Okay, well, that's fine. I don't need to tap you. This isn't paper magic. Real tapping is not necessary. Okay, we want red still. No, we don't. We want blue. Who are we kidding, silly bones? Yep, nope. You need to swap back. All right. This is actually one of the things that I really like about this walker. You might be thinking, what? Really? But is that you have to be on top of how you're playing your deck. It's just, I find it really, I say this and I give Greg a 5 match. That was a big boy play right there. That was, super big boy play. Anywho, you have to be really purposeful about how you're playing your cards, which I actually really like, because it makes the game, it's just more interactive. So I definitely like that. And then let's see, looking at my hand, yeah, let's go ahead and let's use that third ability. And then let's see. We don't need that. We do definitely want that. We don't need another one of you guys. So let's start by drawing, right? Let's see what we can pull from drawing. And of course, we get all supports. So that's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. You meanie pants. Okay. I will say I do love seeing the board all activated like this. It's a little bit distracting for me, but in a good way, right? I'm just like, ooh, you guys look pretty. And I think I'm red again, right? Yep. Okay, good. So let's get the red match. Let's get some resourceful beasts down, and then let's see how they all work in the deck. So here's one, here's two. Now this next turn, unless we accidentally pop our shields, we should be fine. So we're gonna get a landfall. We're going to pop one of the shields. We're living in the danger zone. And let's get some resourceful going. There's one. And two. Nice. Okay. And then that gives us some mana. And let's get another resourceful piece down. And I think that we're still red. So let's make sure we are still red. Okay. Let's get the gem converters down. You know what? That's the right play. I keep overthinking this, but the gem converters, those are definitely the right play. So let's pop those down. That's actually going to get us yet another resourceful trigger. So buffing everything up again. I have to say I'm really liking this. Like this isn't anything that I'd use for like I have to go perfect in an event. But I'm thoroughly enjoying the little triggers and stuff going on here. So this is Castle Embereth buffing everything. So in the event that you're wondering like where are all these buffs coming from, it's Castle Embereth. And then let's go ahead and trigger resourceful 2 more times. So get more tokens, buff up our critters a little bit more. And then let's see, I'm going to move the scions to the bottom here. And I'm going to move you on down too. So I've noticed that there's something funky with supports. I haven't identified, to be fair, I haven't identified exactly what said funky thing is with supports, but I have identified that there is something funky with supports with this ability here. So this should, I think, give me half mana still, right? And then after giving the half mana, or all 3 of those, all 3 of those are Embereth triggers. Okay. I didn't expect that at all. All right, well, still, we get some more resourceful here. And so here we actually get to take advantage of Adamant and Resourceful in the same turn. And we're building up an army. All right, Vivian, what are you doing? Apart from destroying one of my Resourceful cards. You evil, evil lady. It's really tempting to play the Ratter here, honestly. But I don't think that the opponent is going to survive to see the rats and all of their wrath. So let's toss that. Let's go ahead and let's trigger some resourceful here. 1 and 2. And so now we're actually seeing... Oh, we're getting to see the Royal Scions trigger. Nice. Okay. I'm going to move you on up, right? Because we're going to get 10 mana? Yeah, we're totally getting 10 mana here. The Scions are here, so let's actually have them trigger twice more. And so that's going to give us even more resourceful. So, boom, there's 1, and there's 2. And then, yeah, let's go ahead and Sundering Stroke to get rid of that troll. And then get some more boosts to our little critters. So if you haven't had a chance to play around with Resourceful, yeah, it's pretty fun. I like this. Goodbye. And then next turn we win unless something horrible happens, because I'm going to give that little fairy thing double strike. And let's face it, there's not a whole lot that... Yeah, let's give her an added buff. Or him, right? I don't know. Why am I typifying this? Whatever. 15, 18, and we're going to get rid of you and you. I'm not, unfortunately, going to be able to play the Ratter, but that's okay. It's not needed. We're just going for these sweet, sweet resourceful triggers. We're going to buff that fairy up to 20, and you know what? Let's lock the hand down. Let's just mercifully end this match for Vivian. So, cool. Well, there you go. There's standard. And you got to see Oh, that's nice. It actually changes in the end screen, so now it's saying it's Will. That's cool. But yeah, you got to see a thematic standard deck. Now let's take a look at Legacy. This one is going to be a little bit more cut and dry boring, but super powerful. My Legacy take on Rowan is a fairly simple one. So we want to get all the goodies down that we can. So we've got some pretty typical baddies, but Aggravated Assault here is going to be really cool because of the way that the activate 3 red gems works. We can just go ahead and use Rowan to pop them and just get those 3 free swaps basically every turn, because with all of the different swaps we're going to get a bunch of loyalty. So Aggravated Assault with Rowan is awesome. Samut is going to activate gems to give things double strike, which means that we can go ahead and give Piggy or Olivia double strike, which makes them marginally more terrifying than they already are. And then the rest of the pieces are just intended to help draw cards. And so here, once again, you're seeing me use Rowan and Will and Rowan as a combination of an engine walker, and then also a walker that's going to help trigger those gems. So here we obviously want to get some gem conversion. So I'm going to try and get Memorial to War out. I absolutely do not want Koth to be making red gem matches. Koth is a meanie boy when he gets red matches because his red mana bonus is, a little bit on the high side, which makes him, a little bit of a meanie boy pants thing. Dislike. But actually, I love Koth. I never said anything, Koth. We're still friends. All right, so I know that blue isn't especially great. I'm just trying to limit the chances that Koth has of making red matches. Oh, that's one of those really rare cases where that does not kill something, because Samut oddly has just a little bit less toughness than power. So that's a tough crumble right there for my opponent for sure. That definitely stinks. All right, so we're going to be getting a pig soon. Koth is going to get a red match. Stinkers. And doesn't do anything with it just yet. So that, I'm not sure if that's more or less scary. And cars are racing outside my window. That's cool. Yeah, you do that. You're pretty hip and macho right now. All right. Now Samut just became a savage beast. So let's see. What are you gonna bring us, Koth? You're gonna bring us a whole lot of nothing. All right, that's cool. I'm good with that. Let's see. Do we want to use an ability? We can make Samut even nastier. So we can make Samut do 30, which is not quite enough for the win. So let's just go ahead and, you know what? Here, sure. By some crazy miracle, let's see if Blue Sun wants to get us everything in the world. Oh, it does. Cool. Yeah, let's do it. Let's get all the gem converters out. I like that. No complaints. And now this next turn, we're guaranteed going to be able to use that third ability and give actually Koth could pop it with his first. And does not. Great. So, wait, I spoke too soon. No. Koth. Oh, man. This is legacy for you. We were just at the end. All right. That's cool. I can handle this. I can get my big boy pants back on. All right. Yeah. Unfortunately for Koth, I do have access to Miss Piggy, and Miss Piggy says no thank you. Honestly, I'm not sure that Miss Piggy can articulate well enough to say no thank you, but we're going to pretend that that's what this here combo is going to be saying to us. So I know that I'm losing the Blue Sun. I could have played it better, but it just kills Koth here. That's it. So yeah, I mean, I could have done more in Legacy to interact more with the Planeswalker, but realistically in Legacy, you're just gonna run into shenanigan nonsense like what I just put in. So yeah, my final verdict on this walker. They are really fun. I've now been playing with them for a few hours straight. I mean, apart from getting up with my son, but I've been playing with them for a few hours straight. They're definitely a 5 out of 5 for fun. They're a 5 out of 5 for flavor, and about a 3 out of 5 for power. So Rawl is definitely stronger than these guys. So are the Bolosses. They're definitely stronger as blue and red goes, but I actually like this one more than I like Saheeli for standard, if you're a Saheeli lover. And if you're just in the mood to try something new, I think that they did 10 out of 10 for design for this. I know that I was just going scale of 5 and now I'm jumping to 10, but I honestly, I love the design of this walker. The only downside, right? The only really big downside, there is one small bug with this walker. I'm pretty sure that I've pinned it down. So I'm actually going to go ahead and show off the walker's abilities so that you can see them. It's with the walker itself. I have to go back over here, of course. Come on. And that is when you use the ability to convert all of the blue and red gems into activated gems, and then it gives you half mana. Over here, strategic planning. If the first card in your hand is a support, it will not give other cards mana. And if there are cards below a support, it doesn't seem to be giving them mana. So something with the support seems to be stopping it. But if you know it going in, you can just reorder your hand, and it's a non-issue. But I thought I'd go ahead and point that out. So yeah, my suggestion is if you don't mind spending money, then go ahead and do so. If you don't like spending money, then this is definitely a fun walker to get for crystals when it becomes available there. So thank you all for watching. Thank you so much again to Octagon for chatting with me today and then letting me play with this walker in this bundle. I've had a blast with it. I'm going to be playing with it a little bit more. And if anything else comes to mind, I'll post that too. But I'll see you guys in the next one.